Okay, this is a review using music for the Tinhifi P2. Look at those Beauty and the Beast. They're both beautiful, actually. That's the EJ07 Custom and the Unique Melody MEST Custom. We'll be doing reviews for both of those separately. I'm absolutely a CIEM guy now. Sorry, it took me that long. Holy crap, different experience. I don't know if it's fair to compare. First note, P2s, you're going to need foams. You're really going to need foams, and some of the opinions that I gave in the unboxing were using the larger silicones. I made a slight mistake there. Do I wreck this set? It's closer to, I'm not sure, whereas it was a no before. And I'll explain why, because I'm going to listen to music while I do this video. Something to explain. I can actually show it to you in visual. I usually do reviews with IEMs using the ADI 2 DAC FS. At a volume level around minus 30 dB on this. That's typical. On this, it's different, and it is like the P1. It is hard to drive. It's almost identical to it, actually. So let's go ahead and start with something that's right here. When the levee breaks, I'm usually, let me turn my volume down, right side up. I'm listening to the kick drum. This is audiophile. Audiophile is high fidelity. High fidelity is faithful reproduction. I go through this all the time because it's just been such a bastardized term. He's an audiophile. I'm an audiophile. Apparently I am one of the most audiophiles in this hobby because I talk about music and I'm demanding the replay to be what it was mastered as, and this is an authoritative kick drum by all accounts of the period when it was released. Let's listen to it real quick because I already did, and it's not the kick drum that's going to jump out. Now watch me. Time, calling time. Go back. I'm gonna look down at this so you can see how much I've got to power this up just to get to regular listening levels from where I usually am. Okay. I can hardly hear anything right now. Okay. Okay. John Bonham's mastered, very produced kick drum is coming through. Very nice. The possible potential issue, or not excellent, is the harmonica is coming in at almost exactly the same time. I've listened to lots of tracks, and I did obviously like a pre-review and took some notes, and I noticed that cymbals seem to be muted, not cut off at the beginning, not trimmed at the end, subdued, as if every instrument, if you could take it and say, this is the guitar, and this is, and by the way, in the studio, there are sliders, and you can take the guy, because the guitarist came in and laid down his track, he's got his little timer inside his ear, and he lays down his track. The drummer, and maybe the drummer's listening to the recording of the bassist who might have come in already, and kind of lining up with him, even though they should be lining up. It's already, they're literally sliders on a deck. Okay? If you had the sliders and the cymbal strikes, it would be the drummer, but if you could, and you could take the cymbal strikes and like tone those down, that's what it sounds like this set is doing. Now the part that's not great about this song, usually it's on the original P1, this is terrible. This needs at least regular bass. This bass is just a little bit up, and it sounds fucking excellent. The harmonica, the overtones, which go way up, sound a little bit like that's, if you hear rain, it's because there's rain. That's deep, isn't it? That's no bullshit straight info right there. If you hear rain, It's because it's raining outside, okay? This is where you get the straight, no bullshit here, man. And you get it in binaural. You should hear it stronger on the right side. So that is Led Zeppelin. It plays the kick drum great. The harmonica could get on you a little bit. Let's go to Aerosmith. Another DSD. Does it matter? Oh, it doesn't hurt. Let me get this in my ear. I think the stamps for this are 7 and 13, which is same as hey, what can I do? It's a timing thing. 7 and 13 is the first big strikes. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Guitar sounds really clear. Steven Tyler. Steven Tyler sounds excellent. Vocals sound very clear. There's no haze on this set. I think I read that, or somebody said that, or somebody's parroting somebody else's word. Haze is not something that I would associate with the P2. There's no haze. What is haze? What does it imply? That there's something there, but there's something over that, like a fog. That's what I would think somebody implying haze. Well, it's not fucking with vocals, and it's not fucking with bass guitar, so maybe it's with something else. I'll figure that out, but I'm not seeing any haze. Next track, we'll go to something with a female voice. It's a female, I believe it's a Vocaloid, a computer-generated Hitsune. I live in Japan, for fuck's sake. Mitsune something. And I think she's at the beginning of this track, and it's a computer-generated voice, and it's female, and it's high-pitched, and let's give it a quick listen. She sounds great. Go, computer girl, go. I'm listening for this. 3 hits. Starting at 33 seconds. Give me a second here. Sounds good. Ready, drop. Drop, drop now. Sounds good. Now we're back up. 4-string bass. Holy fuck, that sounds good. If you have the P1s and you have it set up where the bass is really good, I suggest that you try Kill Jill. What a track. Holy fuck. And these hits, Planar, being a bass head that I am, coming from Dynamic Drivers, I always looked down on Planar, thought, like, Planars can't do bass real good. That audio right there, those hi-fi man, is ghetto as fuck as that yoke and that suspension system is, because it isn't really a suspension system. I guess it is. It's so fucking ghetto, but the sound quality on that's awesome, and the hits of bass guitar, kick drums are fucking fantastic. That's why that sits over there. Love that fucking set. This is Planar too, and it does this really well. Again, recommendation. Fuck that. I hate when people recommend me music. Music is a personal thing. But it's Vocaloid, and if you're into that stuff and you don't know this hip-hop mashup with her being used. Hitsune Hitaru. Fuck it. I don't know her name. Mikune Hitsune. Fuck it. Okay. Enough. Born to Run. Glockenspiel. It should be close to here. Bruce Springsteen? No. Hey, there we go. There should be something with a lot of upper frequency energy. That sounds dope. The bassist is pinning it, doing a great job. The glockenspiel is crystal clear, but it sounds... This is odd. The glockenspiel, which is way up in the register, sounds like fucking sparkles. It sounds fantastic. The harmonica in When the Levee Breaks doesn't sound ideal. And cymbals sound like the volume of the cymbal control master slider has been slightly subdued for some reason. Like they focused on that and said, just hit the cymbal. Just hit it again. Hit it again. You don't forget the kit. Just there you go. Okay. And one more time. Okay. Got it. That's enough. Put that down. And then they play with that. Because for some reason they want to de-emphasize it because it's too strong. They want to emphasize. Sounds like these are... got a little guy inside, and he's saying, "Turn down those cymbals a little bit. Grab that slider." Like that. There's something odd about that because the glockenspiel is in the upper registers, fundamental and overtones, and the cymbals are as well overlapping in a way, but they're treating those instruments very differently. But there's haze in no part of this whatsoever. Another track to check out. But this was so good that I don't know if it's even worth doing it, but let's do it anyway. Dire Straits was fucking fantastic. I'm listening to Mark's vocals. I'm listening to his brilliant guitar in the opening, but I'm also listening to the bassist who is really pinning this track down, whereas the drummer is kind of in the background, almost like rhythm. He's keeping time, and the bassist is really kind of leading it in a subdued way. You got to listen for it to catch it, but when you do, you can't let it go. Just a second. That sounds brilliant, actually. I'm going to go ahead and stop there because people watching another person listen to music is... I don't know if that's very appealing. Though I would be into it because I love music and I want to know exactly why somebody thinks something's good and exactly why they think it's not good. That's me, and I'm projecting myself onto you guys by doing this in front of you. But mind memory and like, I think this sounds, and then notes. Why not just do it right in front of people? So if you think this sucked, go ahead and comment, and if you think you prefer this in a maybe more organized fashion, I'm going to go with this because it's nice to listen and blah. The input, the feedback right away. There's no loss of info with that quick of a turnaround. I think that these are better set than I thought they were at first. I'm under no... I pick what I like and I hype it. I think you guys have seen one. The Belon 05 came out, I stomped it. The Tin T2 Plus original, before they retuned it, I stomped it. The Manger just came out. That they had the T, and then the second one should have been good. I stepped on it. If I like stuff, that's why Linsoul's as good as it is, because unlike Moondrop, who I like this set, but I had to go about getting this myself. If you don't give some companies positive feedback, they kind of forget who you are. And if that was related to somebody said, oh, you didn't link to us with the SSR, you sent the SSR and it took 3 weeks to get here, and I got one in a week and a half, and that's the one I reviewed. And it was garbage. And nobody contacts me from that company, Shenzhen or Moondrop. So I said that this was no good, pretty much, and this was an anticipated item, and everybody who deals with Linsoul knows that they don't care. They're not going to not give you something because you didn't like it. So that said, and that known by people out there, listening to it again with foam tips, I actually like it. And I got one demo version, one final version. The Patreons are going to get the demo version, which is really not much difference, actually. And I'm going to keep this, because these are good. Is it worth the money? Oh, the market will determine that. Would I recommend it? I'd recommend you wait for the Shure Tape Pro, because you could save money and maybe get superior replay. But these are not as unappealing as I thought they were originally. They're actually pretty cool. They're very resolving. And keep this in mind. Odyssey release these big fucking things with these ghetto ear hooks that were super uncomfortable, that snapped very easily. The customer service from them was garbage. If other people got good customer service and I got bad, then that means that they treat some people one way, people on like HeadFi, another place, and then regular purchases, because they didn't know who I was, in another way. And you must have used them wrong, or those ear hooks are designed to be strong. No, they're fucking broke, man. And they have something called a cipher cable. Cipher. Do I got to get onto Google and the cipher is a way, the Zodiac Killer, he uses a certain cipher to hide his message, a shift, there's all kinds of things, and then to get out the correct message you decipher. So that they called the cable a cipher cable is fucked, because it's a decipher, because you're taking that fucked up tuning and correcting it through the cable till it gets to your ears with that little DSP that they got in there. So they couldn't even name their cable right. And this is a $300, much more affordable than that was years ago. And I would take this set over the i10 if I'm an Android user, because fuck, Android is basically the way that Odyssey was treating it back in the day. So I'd rec these over the Odyssey if you're into Android, or if you're not into EQ, because this is a better. If you got iOS, then you just use their many software things and all the bullshit that they got to put lipstick on a fucking pig. I do think that the i4 and the i20 are really good if you're using an iOS device, but it's a crippled item that was fixed with a digital sound processing crutch to stop it from limping. And that's the reality. This is a $300 and something Chi-Fi item that doesn't have any DSPs. It's running straight from the device to your ears, and it's got some oddity with the cymbals. Not offensive. It sounds slightly quiet, and harmonica on a very, very overproduced, not overproduced, very produced track. When the levee breaks, it sounds like it could get on me. That's an indication of perhaps other things and other tracks. But bass guitar, it was always excellent. Vocals were always excellent. Play across the drum kit sounded good. Just cymbal strike sounded subdued. Worse lingo would say to be muted, but it's not actually muted, it's just subdued. Listening to Hey, What Can I Do, to be specific to you guys, go listen to that, because it's got multiple cymbal strikes that are very similar, and you can kind of get your mind around it. And that does sound like, you turn it up, that sounds good. It's just, now go back to regular volume, it sounds de-emphasized, muted, subdued. And that's it. P2, good set. would have been superstar if they had not gone for the accessories. Equal pay me. You know what I mean? Like give me some extra stuff and then you pay me money. No, you should have kept it very close to the same price and you would have sold a bunch more. And now I'm up. And did you hear the rain? Can you hear it now? This is binaural. Shun. Okay, I'm out.
Selling cocaine, the ripping shows live on stage for hoes yelling my